mode.
Good morning, everyone. Scott Earhart here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Want to thank you all very, very much for taking time to join us this morning. I think you're going to be very pleased with what you're going to see here today, as well as what you're going to hear, because there are some exciting things on the horizon. Today, we're going to take a look at our proprietary portfolio through AIG American General that the Market Synergy Group offers. We are a member of the Market Synergy Group, and very proudly so. That being said, in order to take an in-depth dive into these products, we've got Mr. Jared Anderson with us from Market Synergy Group. Jared, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, fantastic. Thank you for taking the time for us. I know it's a real busy time down there in Topeka, so we appreciate you carving out some time for us. Before I hand it over to Jared, I want to go through a few introductory slides as well as a couple of housekeeping items. We'll start with those housekeeping items. First is our phone number up there in the top right-hand corner of your screen, 800-255-5055. Please, if there's anything that you see here today that is of interest to you, or if there's anything we can be doing here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services to help you in the life or fixed annuity markets or the wealth management arena, please do not hesitate to give us a call. We'd love the opportunity to be earning your business. Or not final housekeeping item, but next housekeeping item are polling questions. I'll launch 2 or 3 polling questions throughout the presentation today, all yes or no. If you would be kind enough to just participate in those with a simple yes or no click, we would appreciate that. And then final housekeeping item, questions. We're going to throw a lot of information at you here in a pretty short time, so if there are questions, and I'm sure there will be, we will provide a questions box for you. Feel free to type them in. We'll do the best we can to answer them while we are live and in session here. If we don't get them answered, Jared or I will follow up with you specifically to make sure that everything is clear. That being said, let's get into a couple of introductory slides here. Business building tools. IAMS definitely wants to help partner with you in building your practice, whether that is you as an individual producer or if you are wanting to build an agency. We can certainly help there. I'll start with the referred producer program, and this is what I alluded to with building an agency. This is a great way to start it out. Our business, real similar to yours, best lead that we're ever going to get is a referral from one of our valued clients or you, our valued producer. So we want to make it worth your while to refer individuals to us. When you refer a producer over to us and they pick up a contract, any contract whatsoever, we're going to send you a check for $50 just as a thank you. Now, where the real money comes in is as your referral writes business, we will give you a 20 basis point override on that business. Can be very, very lucrative to you. And why I talked about agency building tools here is if you refer a producer over to us or choose to put a producer into the referred producer program, that is not a permanent thing. You can pull them out of that and move into a full hierarchy system if you'd like to. The beauty of this is IAMS treats your referred producer as a direct recruit to Insurance Agency Marketing Services. What that means for you is you get the override, but you do not take on any of the liability of having a downline producer. So if some business goes south, we end up in a chargeback scenario, that will not roll up to you. It's a great way if you're just trying to get an agency off the ground to start it out and not take on all the liability. If you would like to talk more about this, or if you have some individuals you'd like to refer over to us, please let me know either in the questions box or give me a call, shoot me an email. I'll do the best I can to get those referrals licensed up with IAMS and get you on your way to earning some referred producer dollars. Bottom sentence there, marketing reimbursement, rough numbers on marketing reimbursement, $200 for every 100,000 in premium through IAMS. Our marketing reimbursement is very, very lucrative. We don't cap your account. We don't tell you the vendors you have to use for your marketing reimbursement. We think of it as your money. All we ask that you do is submit a receipt to us, and we'll cut you out a check to offset that expense here the same day. An exciting thing to note, if you got our newsletter that just got mailed out and emailed out last week, now through the end of the year, we are going to offer double marketing reimbursement for any lead orders. So if you are dropping mail, buying appointments, doing anything like that, we can certainly double up that payment to you. For details on that, just give me a call. Let me know. I'd love to walk you through it. If you are new to insurance agency marketing services, or if this webinar is your first introduction to us here at IMES, we do have the new producer builders for you. We call it our new producer bonus here internally. What this is a bonus structure based on production within your first 180 days of being licensed with IMES. We have 3 great levels that you can qualify at, and as you can see, there's all sorts of neat things in every level to choose from: cash rewards, business building tools, personal perks. If you'd like to know where you stand for new producer, or if you want to chat about how we can get you up to the next level, please give me a call. I'd love to have that conversation with you. Back office support. We help you work smarter, not harder. That is a theme that runs true through IMES from the top down. We want to work smart, not hard here. Now, that doesn't mean we don't work hard for you, but we want to do it as efficiently as possible. Business building tools and resources available to you online. We will be launching the brand new IMESinc.com here within the next couple of weeks maximum. You're going to see a lot more tools out there and a lot more resources for you at your fingertips. Case design assistants, myself and my entire marketing team are here for you. For any case design needs, we do work all out of the same office, so we can do cross-reference design for you as well. If we are talking about wealth management, life insurance, annuities, anything you need, we will get that design out to you. Again, forms at your fingertips, so we're going to be here for you online as well as via the phone. Submission to commission support. Amber Williams and her new business team are fantastic. And they do an absolutely great job with everything that they do. Sorry, it looks like we were having some technical difficulties. Hopefully that has remedied now. Yep, just got a text message. It is remedied. Thank you, Jared. So submission to commission, we are here for you to make sure your business is clean and you get paid as efficiently as possible. Life and annuity quotes, of course, at your fingertips. Top sales expertise and coaching. We do have our sales coaches around the country that are here to help you. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And paperless contracting. We all know that contracting is quite a bear. We can make it really, really easy for you with our Efficient Forms platform. Creative marketing solutions, another thing that we will bring to the table to help you grow your business and earn your business here at IMES is an in-house creative team. Anything that your local PR firm or graphic design firm can do for you, we will do here, and we will do it for pennies on the dollar compared to them, and you will not give up any quality. Josh Tricardian heads up our creative team, so if you'd like to chat a little bit about what IMES Creative can do to help you with your brand, with your online presence, with your marketing presence, please let us know. We'd certainly love to personalize some things for you. Our new website, or our current website, IMESinc.com, is here to assist you. I'm sure most of you have been there. If you haven't, go check it out and keep checking it out, because it's about to get a whole lot more interactive and have a lot more tools on there for you. And again, that new IMESinc.com should launch within the next 2 weeks. Retirement Analyzer. So it's debatable, I guess, to say if we're entering into a heightened regulatory environment, but there's certainly been a lot of talk about it. And if you're not using a tool that shows how you make the recommendations that you make, you might want to consider having that for your records at minimum. The Retirement Analyzer can certainly help you do that, show your clients exactly where they stand now with their current assets, where they would be if they chose to take your advice and utilize a product or a service that you're offering. The Retirement Analyzer can show that all to them in very plain language, very easy to understand graphs and pie charts, and it can definitely help you from a for lack of a better term, compliance standpoint to show that you are doing what's in the best interest of your client with your recommendations. Marcus Solar in our office is kind of our point man for the retirement analyzer. So if you'd like to start a free trial or take a closer look at it, give him a call. He'd love to walk you through it. IMS Wealth Management. This is our newest company. Super excited about this company. Charles R. Hiring is the head of our RIA, and he is doing such a great job. I won't steal too much of his thunder, but if you are interested in obtaining your 65, if you are currently an IAR and are looking to increase your technology, offer a more diverse platform, and decrease your fees, I'd tell you to give Charles a call. He certainly could help you with that. Love to chat with you about what IMS Wealth Management can do for you and for your practice. Life and Annuity Academy. We do have one more academy yet this year. It will be in November. As I talk about our Life and Annuity Academy, I am going to launch our first poll of the day, just asking if you'd like more information about that. If you click yes, you're going to get an automated email that kind of goes through a link to apply as well as a previous agenda so you can see in more depth what we're talking about. So what we do in our Life and Annuity Academy is they are all expenses paid. We will pay for flight, hotel, meals, everything you need while you're with us for 2.5 days. We kind of have a rule with our Life and Annuity Academy or any of our live trainings that we're not here to put on a product show. We're here to put on a marketing show. So what we want to do is show you exactly what we do here at IMS to help you grow your practice. We'll bring in some carrier reps. Jared's been to several of these that will show you where their products fit in certain niches, not just what their products are. So how can you increase your sales by utilization of these products? When you meet a client that has a certain need, is this the product that you want to put in the forefront? We'll answer those questions for you. We'll have our staff here, all of our management will be there. Myself, Mark Raymakers, our life director, Josh from Creative, Amber from New Business, all be there to meet you, chat with you about what our departments do. Of course, our executive and ownership team and Steve Murray and Charles Hiring will be there. Those gentlemen run our day-to-day operations, own us privately here, and they want to make sure that they're getting to know you so that they can understand your practice, and therefore we can better tailor your experience here at IMS to make sure you're getting the maximum out of our relationship. What I think is probably the most intriguing part about our Life and Annuity Academy is we'll bring in at least 4 of our sales coaches from throughout the country. And in order to be a sales coach at Insurance Agency Marketing Services, not only do you have to be able to talk the talk, but you must walk the walk as well. And what I mean by that is all of our sales coaches are top producers in the industry, upper 1% in earnings. And these gentlemen and ladies will show you exactly what it is that they do in their day-to-day practice that has made them so successful, and give you the ability to take that information home with you and implement it in your own practice. So really, really neat stuff there. That being said, our final Academy of the year is November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So if you are interested at all, if you would please click yes on the polling question. We'll get you that email out so you can see what it looks like. And that being said, I'm going to close down this poll and move on. So if you haven't taken the time to click yes or no, if you would please do so, we'd certainly appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. Our 2018 Marketing Summit, just so everybody knows, coming up here in late February. Be at the Boulders Resort and Spa in Scottsdale. I've had the pleasure of being there a few times. I know Jared has as well. It's an amazing place. Great golf, great spa, great resort, and the meeting that we're lining up for that, the speakers we're lining up right now, it's going to be an impressive, impressive trip. So if you'd like more information about the 2018 Marketing Summit, please let me know. We'll certainly get you that information. That being said, I am done with my intro slide. So Jared, I'm going to give you control.
Sounds great.
And I believe you should have it now.
All right, my friend. Tell me when you can see it and we'll get started.
I can see it. You are good to go.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Scott, and thank you. I'll just kind of reiterate what Scott had mentioned. Appreciate you guys taking the time out of your schedule to join us here today. As Scott mentioned, my name is Jared Anderson from Market Synergy Group. What we want to do today, 10, 15 minutes, 20 tops, I just want to talk to you briefly about the product suite that we offer through AIG, American General here at Market Synergy Group. As Scott had alluded to earlier, we are in the process of making some changes, but what we've done here at Market Synergy Group in connection and cooperation with AIG is design a full suite of products for you, the advisor, to offer to the clients for, quite frankly, any given situation that you run into. Two different products, as you can see on the screen here. The Power Select Builder is a simple, safe accumulation product. We're not going to spend any time on that. Everyone's familiar with how those work and certainly understand the design behind those. As a matter of fact, this is our top selling product because of the simplicity around it. Doesn't matter what state you're in as long as it's not New York. There's no product variation, so it becomes extremely, extremely competitive. What we'll spend more of our time on is the Power Select Plus Income, and that product has two different income riders. As I mentioned earlier, we are in the process of making some changes. I've been doing some research this morning. As of September 12th, with the changes that we'll be making for our guaranteed income rider, every single age scenario is actually going to be increasing. So we're extremely excited about that and what we have coming out. But more importantly, what I want to do is spend a little bit of time on our performance-based income rider, which in my opinion, and certainly us here at Market Synergy Group, we feel this is something that is kind of the wave of the future, for lack of a better term. And this is something that hasn't quite taken off necessarily like we thought it would, and we think that's going to change here soon. And we're fortunate enough to have you all on the line here today to talk to you a little bit about it, see if maybe this is something that fits your practice. Real briefly, what I do want to run through is talk specifically about our crediting strategies. We like to keep things simple here at Market Synergy Group. Two S&P strategies as well as two volatility controlled strategies. I would ask that you contact your marketer at IAMS to go through this in more detail. I don't want to spend time on it. Our MLSB strategy is very simple. Conceptually, the design is there for simplicity for you to explain to the consumer. So couple quick notes on that, and then we'll move on. It's a simple S&P as well as 10-year Treasury futures combined with volatility controlled in and out of cash. An easy design. I looked this morning, it's up 6.85% year to date, so it's doing fairly well. A simple conversation to have with that client. S&P 500 is something everybody certainly knows in the investing world. In addition to that, the 10-year Treasury rate is something that everyone tends to follow or be more familiar with. So it leaves us a little bit simpler story without having to go into details about all the mechanics that are behind it. So very nice strategy, and I think it's one that you would want to take a look at for its simplicity reasons. Going back to the accumulation type of sales, something that we do here at Market Synergy is really try and come up with solutions that make the most sense for you, the advisor in the field. All I'm showing you here is the way that our builder product is positioned. We've ran across situations where 2-year crediting strategies, 3-year crediting strategies, as high as 5-year crediting strategies. And for us, the diversification within a product makes a lot of sense. So what I've done is simply taken all 4 of our crediting strategies here, just to give you an example of what we're dealing with, and showed you what can be done here. The idea, the concept behind this is really to get the performance that indexed annuities are designed to do by allocating a portion and diversifying within your own product here. And as you can see, we'll focus a little bit down here. The lowest number that we get over a 20-year time frame is 1.14, the highest 7.77. So again, it's just something conceptually to share with you, maybe to consider for your next accumulation type of sale. Don't go chasing a volatility controlled index that has a super high illustrated rate. The reality is if you offset these a little bit with straight S&P strategies as well as the volatility control, the likelihood of a more consistent return is there. So that's all the time I'm going to spend on our accumulation product, because I think it's important we focus on our income and the performance-based income at that. So where did Market Synergy get to this design, and why are we here, right? So I'm going to go through a few charts with you, and Scott, make sure that we let everyone know that if there's questions that come up, just type them in, and then we can wait towards the end and answer any questions that any of the individuals on the line have. But Wanted to go through why we got to the design that we did with the increasing income option with our Power Select Plus income with the Lifetime Income Plus multiplier. As you can see on the chart, the overall long-term average of inflation is around 3.22%. One would argue over the last 20 or 30 years it's been less than that and certainly substantially higher in years past, but the overall average is around 3.22%. And that's important when we look at this. If you throw in healthcare inflation costs to that as well, that number jumps to be even higher. So our idea behind our design, our thought process behind our design is very simple. Today's dollars aren't going to be worth the same amount as what they were, or they won't be worth the same 20 years from now as what they are today. So I'm just showing a quick chart for the impact of inflation on the purchasing power. As you can see, for a 65-year-old today, $7,000 is going to feel like around $3,500 or almost half of that to age 85, which is really close to life expectancy and what we kind of see as a full retirement type of a situation. So what we did with our design with our multiplier product is very simple. The term that we use around here is equity inflation. We want that client to have the ability to keep up with equity inflation. And with our design, we don't knock them for taking this inflation type of an income rider, which is very important as well. So just give you some real quick scenarios at the basic information around the multiplier. And as I mentioned earlier, what I'm going to suggest is to think of a client that you've recently saw or that you're getting ready to see, and think about if this would apply to them as you sit down with them and go through their retirement assets and their income planning. Okay, just a real quick brief overview of how the product works. It's really simple, and quite frankly, the design behind the income rider is what really drives it. It doesn't take 6.5%, 7%, 8% illustrated numbers in order for this to conceptually work. It's truly a unique design, and there's not anything else out there like it. During the deferral stage, what you're going to see is 200% income or 200% credits, 200% multiplier is what it's referred to. For simplicity purposes, what I always tell everybody is whatever interest credit you receive on your contract, you get double that amount to your income base. Once you elect income, it's as simple as a paycheck increase, okay? And I'll go through that here in just a minute. But going back to the accumulation side, assuming a 4% rate of return based on whatever crediting strategy you've elected, you get twice that amount, or in simpler terms, an 8% credit to your income base. Once you've started taking income, let's assume that the client's receiving $10,000 a year. There's a big year in the crediting strategies. They get a 6% credit to their contract value. That income in that scenario would go from $10,000 to $10,600. That new number is locked in for life, never to go lower than that. So why I point this out is because as we reference the slides that we showed prior to, inflation is real, and the value of a dollar absolutely decreases over a consumer's retirement years, right? So what we found is a lot of clients are being sold these guaranteed income riders, and the only thing that we know for sure is that number is never going to change, right? So conceptually, we wanted to have something different that people could look at and say, well, wait a second, why would I ever take something that's locked in for life when the purchasing power of those dollars are going to decrease almost by 50% over my entire retirement years? So what I've done now is just shown you a few examples. Quite frankly, comparing it to a SPIA, I don't think it makes any sense for somebody to purchase a SPIA. There's certainly situations where that may come up, but as you can see on the charts here, this is just using illustrated numbers, and I'll go to the next one because I think it shows it a little bit more simply. These are our most recent, so not our highest, not our lowest, but our most recent. Using our Merrill Lynch strategy, it's around $186,000 in cumulative income to age 85. Again, this is a 65-year-old with a life-only SPIA. So you can offer them $140,000 in a SPIA, or you can offer them the potential of $186,000 with a guarantee of $105,000. Now keep in mind, this guarantee of $105,000 is assuming zeros every single year for 20 straight years. If we get 1 or 2% even on average, our numbers are going to match this $140,000, and then we give them the potential for this $185,000, $186,000. Extremely important to point out. Then, if we look at a life with a 10-year period certain, because generally speaking, people aren't purchasing a life-only SPIA due to the constraints around that, the numbers are very similar. You're getting a little bit less on the SPIA side. Everything stays the same in regards to our multiplier product. More importantly, if we compare it to the highest GLWB in the industry, okay, keep in mind, I'll go back to our parameters for this. This is a 65-year-old taking income immediately. Here's the two lines I want you to focus on, the purple and the blue. The purple is our guarantee. The blue line is the highest guaranteed living withdrawal benefit in the industry. 65 taking income immediately. The number is $5,644. Again, this is based on $100,000 of premium. As you can see, keeping up with equity inflation gives us the ability on a most recent illustrated number to almost double that opportunity. So what I've always told people is if we look at the unfavorable period and focus on this green line here, which is an S&P strategy, if we look at the unfavorable period, those numbers are still going to end up somewhere around $9,000, which is roughly, $3,300 more than the highest GLWB. So this gives that client the ability to keep up with the equity inflation. And when we reference our S&P unfavorable period, I want you to keep in mind that that takes into consideration 2000, 2001, 2002, and 2008, all down years in the S&P. So 4 of the 10 years that we're referencing is all negative years in the S&P. And we're still having the ability to provide them with more cumulative income and the ability to keep up with that equity inflation. When we look at this, the question often comes up, okay, our guarantee, assuming zeros for 20 straight years, is $105,000. The highest guaranteed living withdrawal benefit in the industry, cumulatively to age 85, will give you $116,000. So realistically, our number is somewhere between this 105 and this, we'll focus on the S&P, this 182. Most clients would be willing to give up that little bit in order to get the higher opportunity. The reference that I often use is we're in the business to sell and provide fixed index annuities, and we believe in the concept and the design behind these index annuities that are going to get better than fixed rate products. So it's time now, I think, we start focusing on this and going away from the guaranteed income riders, because we're trying to get that client more with less dollars. And that's exactly what this accomplishes, and I'm showing you the numbers straight off of our illustrations. Not all products have the ability to turn on income immediately. However, ours does. But what I wanted to show you is a comparison of a 65-year-old with a 1-year deferral, and the numbers are, quite frankly, about the same. When we look at it from an illustration perspective, again, focusing on the green line with an S&P participation strategy, we're still in a worst case scenario, if the worst 10 years of the S&P repeats itself, going to be better off in this type of a product, because the consumer has the ability to take advantage of that increase based on the equity inflation, as we often refer to it as. So the numbers get a little bit different in regards to the guarantee, 101 compared to the 130, but again, you can see that we're going to be somewhere in between these two numbers, and quite frankly, this is the idea behind the index annuity design, and this is what people like about them, the opportunity to get more with less. So we look again at another scenario, because some of them don't allow for income until you defer for 5 years. So again, that gap gets a little bit bigger. After our changes on September 12th, our purple line is going to move up quite a bit. And it's important for you guys, as I mentioned earlier, to think of a client that you're working with and call Scott or somebody else at the IMS office, have them run you an illustration, walk you through this. But again, even if we use a 5-year deferral, which some products require, you can see where the numbers end up, and you can see that the opportunity is over $100,000 more just by using the most recent S&P participation strategy or our MLSP. Other things that I recommend is a combination of the both. If you know what the guarantee number is that they need, and they have a little extra funding that they're willing to take a little bit more risk in order to get a better return, this combination sale, if you will, presents itself quite nicely. So again, the other thing that we focus on, as I go back here, I want to go back to this previous slide. One of the things that we, our philosophy here at Market Synergy is very simple. We are specifically designing the products for early income scenarios. Okay? In our mind, if a consumer says, let's look and see what it looks like if I defer for 10 years and then turn on the income. A red flag immediately pops into my head when that situation comes up, and I say to myself, 10 years from now, things are going to change. Not only is the client's situation going to change, the market is going to change. This is a very innovative industry, and there's going to be better products out there. There's the thought that the interest rates are going to be higher and products are going to be more competitive. So our thought process is very simple. Design income to be most competitive early on, understanding that we still have to be competitive throughout the years, but the bulk of the design goes into the early income scenarios, because that's what we need in order to get these clients comfortable. If they're wanting to wait 10 years, our philosophy is very simple. Do a safe accumulation type of a product, 60-year-old deferring for 5. The highest guaranteed living withdrawal benefit is $8,322. This is a page directly from our illustration software system. So as you can see, in a favorable scenario, we start with 100,000. We copy their free withdrawal scenario of the highest GLWB in the industry. 10 years from now, you, the agent, you, the advisor, have the ability to reassess their situation, and they have somewhere between $118,000 and $205,000 still remaining in that contract. These are using unfavorable and favorable scenarios. For us, the client's mind is absolutely going to change if we're looking beyond 5 years of deferral. So that's a better concept for a couple of different reasons, because as I mentioned earlier, we feel like the innovation in this industry is going to continue to get better and better. And secondly, as they change their mind, we're going to put them in a position where we can reevaluate that situation and go to that better product. In addition to that, they're not paying an income rider fee on an accumulation type of a product like this. So if they're looking 10 years or beyond, accumulation seems to be the more simple solution for that consumer, as well as you, the advisor. This gives you the ability to keep them as a client for the next 20 or 30 years. With an income rider such as that you turn on 10 years from now, you're going to be working with them for the next 30 years. Hopefully it performs. It's just a different deal. And again, we look at it differently here, and our philosophy is very simple. If it's a longer term deferral, focus on the accumulation type of product and don't charge that income rider fee. Scott, we went pretty quick on that. Again, I'm just blowing up some of these numbers, but it was a very simple concept. As I mentioned to you guys earlier, we're having some really big competitive changes come September 12th, and we want to make sure that you focus on that and have the ability to look at those changes. As I mentioned earlier, what my challenge to you is, or what I ask of you, is to think of a client that you were working on recently, or a client in the past where you had a scenario where this may fit, and focus specifically on that increasing income, because the opportunity is something that not a lot of agents out there are talking about, and we feel like it's really, really big. We'd love to have the opportunity to earn some of your business, take advantage of this unique design, and have the ability to see what this product can provide for you.
Thank you, Jared. Appreciate you taking the time to do that. I know we did go quickly, but that's part of the beauty of what Market Synergy has done. Is it's simple. It's a clean design, and it's easy for clients to understand and get the concepts, which makes your life as the producer significantly easier. Did have a couple of questions come in that we'll pop up to Jared before we wrap up here. But as we pop those questions out there, I'm going to launch our final poll of the day. And I'm going to ask you if you want to see licensing information from AIG, further product details, full agent kit, basically. So if you saw something here today that you liked, or that you think may be applicable to your practice or to a specific client you're thinking of, just click yes. We'll get an email out to you with more product details, and hopefully get these great products added into your offering portfolio. That being said, Jared, I did have one really important question come in that we probably need to point out. All the numbers that we showed there with the income rider, the accumulation, everything, is that net of any fees, or does that not take into account the expenses?
No, that's all net of fees. The illustration software system takes all that into consideration.
Absolutely, absolutely. Those are real numbers. I was lucky enough yesterday to work with an advisor that was going out for a client review that had the MLSBI, a couple of AIG products in the household. They performed pretty well. So those are real numbers. Those are actual expectations and reasonable expectations your client should have when entering into this. Did have a bunch of questions come in on this topic, Jared. Don't know what we can or cannot say at this point. Any commentary that Market Synergy Group wants to provide on the Department of Labor situation? Jared? That being said, everybody, I apologize. I'll sum up what I can about the Department of Labor situation. Looks like Jared got cut off. So he just sent me a text message. His apologies. Not sure what the technical difficulties were here today. So let me give you a quick overview of the Department of Labor situation from IM's perspective prior to us signing off. The Department of Labor ruling for heightened fiduciary responsibility and fiduciary status for the sale to qualified funds is going to be delayed 18 months. The new applicable date is going to be July. I'm not sure if it's the 1st or 31st of 2019. That being said, partial implementation has already taken place with the 8424 forms. If you haven't been excuse me, to imsinc.com and seen our DOL Ready kit, we do have a kit available for you with a workable 8424 form for your qualified fund sales. For now, we will be operating business as normal under the 8424 regulation through July of 2019, or up to July of 2019. That being said, we do expect to see some further changes as this rule is reviewed. What those are going to be, we're unsure of yet. I'm not sure if the OMB officially published the ruling or not yesterday. But if it wasn't published yesterday, it will be published more than likely today, definitely before the holiday weekend. So what that means to you out there in the field, there's been a lot of stuff out there that you must be a registered rep of some type, hold a securities license of some type in order to continue to do business. That right now is not true. You can still write qualified funds utilizing the 8424 exemption. Does that mean you shouldn't be looking to possibly get your 65 or something of that nature? I would say it's premature to say you don't or you won't need it. There's a very real scenario where this does get implemented within the next 18 months or in the next 18 months, and then you would need it to work with qualified funds or to maximize what you can do for a client with qualified funds. You would need to be a registered rep or have outlet to a financial institution. And that's kind of the grayness of our rule right now, or what we're operating under. That being said, I know we promised this would be a quick webinar, so I don't want to hold you all back too long. I don't have any more questions that came in, so I am going to sign it off. I do want to thank you all very, very much for taking the time to join us today. If you haven't taken the time to click yes or no in the polling question, if you would please do so before we end, I'd appreciate that. Go out, have a great sales day, everyone. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you all in the very, very near future. Thanks, everyone.